is it okay that we're developing AI that's basically creating deep fakes of everything instead of genuinely understanding?
The relevant metaphor is the golem. And
yeah, right.
Golems do exist, right? We build machines that we don't know how to stop because they become stronger than us. And the biggest golem in this regard, I think, is the technological civilization. When we started to go down the route of technology, we set something in motion that we could no longer stop. I think you could argue that this creation of a technological civilization is such a machine that we couldn't stop. And so GPT-3 by itself, I think, is totally fine. It works best with a human in the loop. And when you put a human in the loop, it empowers that human to be way more productive in many circumstances. And if you put this thing in charge, then you are probably in trouble. And humans also make difficult mistakes when they are in charge and they don't understand something and act anyway, or they are poorly incentivized. But I see a big danger if you have a system that is faking understanding so well that almost nobody understands what's going on. And
it can't provide intelligible explanations about what it's really doing underneath the hood.
No, it can. That is the terrible thing. It can explain deepfakes of intelligible explanations.
Okay.
You can ask it, give me an explanation of the following unintelligible thing, and it's going to give you an intelligible explanation or something that sounds indistinguishable. Okay. Right? It's like a consultant that is completely irresponsible.
Because we won't be able to tell the difference between an intelligible explanation that actually is an explanation of something it does understand and something that doesn't.
Mm-hmm. So you can also ask it to do this. So it's able to respond to things that it clearly doesn't understand or where the probability is low with the answer that it doesn't understand. But for instance, the difference between the things that it understands and doesn't understand, it's not going to be able to explain this very well to you. At least in the examples that I've seen, maybe there's a way to prompt GPT-3 into completely sane behavior, but I haven't seen it so far. Typically, the way to make it sane is that you understand the domain so well that you can combine it with some kind of filter that is going to test the output, for instance, against the theorem prover or against a set of allowed parameters. And you roll the dice for as long as you need to get an answer that passes the test. If you don't have that, then you need something that has that understanding. And I found that GPT-3 is basically babbling. And it's babbling at a level that is better than the babbling of human non-experts. So it's not going to produce something that is as good as something that an expert on Goethe could produce. But it's better than something that a non-German speaker could produce or somebody who is a poor writer could produce about Goethe's output to simulate that, right? So that is something that makes it dangerous because it can, in some sense, replace the output by incompetent people by something that looks fairly competent if you don't have a good critic sitting there who understands what this thing's doing. And so to me, the main issue, again, is sentience. And it's also the same issue as our civilization. Our civilization is actually not sentient. It doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know what it's doing. It's not planning ahead. A civilization that was sentient would be planning ahead for many generations. But our civilization is not able to act on a plan that reaches 200 years in the future.
Oh, no.
And if you cannot act on such a plan that reaches at least 200 years in the future, you cannot deal with resource depletion or global warming, right? Because there's nothing you can do about this. It's like your child with attention deficit asked to do its homework, so it's going to get a good grade at the end of the year. It's not going to happen, right? We are in a very weird situation that our models of reality change faster than our understanding does. The future changes faster than our models. And so we can no longer track it.